We also have Gymkhana demos and Ninja. Before I get started, I did want to mention that we do have a handful of demos that are available at the Keyline store. So if you are in need of a demo or looking for a demo, we do have some on sale. So I highly recommend you check them out. You'll get a great deal on a wonderful key cutting machine. Now, back to the Messenger. Messenger, the whole big concept of the Messenger is one, of course, yes, it's portability. But two, you can also use the Messenger through a tablet that you can get with the machine, or if you have an Android phone, you can use the Android phone to connect to it and cut it via that way. It's controlled by a KDT app on your, we call it the KDT app, Keyline Duplicating Tool application, that you can download on your Android today, and you use that to connect to the Messenger when you're out in the field. We also, you can also have the option for it to use a battery or have it plugged directly into the wall. I highly recommend the battery because that's kind of what it was designed for, is to carry it around with you where you go. But I do know several customers that like how small it is and use it plugged into the wall. It's a very easy machine to set up. Once you download the app and the machine is on, and when you open the app, it's going to look for the Messenger machine right away because it sends out a ping. And once it catches that ping, it's going to pull up the serial number of your machine. All you have to do is select the serial number, and after about a minute, it'll connect to the machine and you'll be able to operate it from there. As you can see, I'm using a tablet and it's already set up. So let's get right into the menu. As you can tell, this menu looks a lot different than all our other machines. Brand new software program. It's kind of testing, but I'm a big fan of it, to be honest with you. As you can see here, you have your main menu. At the very top, you have vehicles, and you have all the makes logos right here. And then if you scroll over, you have motorcycles. I know a couple of you were asking if the Messenger can cut motorcycles. It can. And then if you scroll again, those are cylinders. Search by code, card, key blank. And then we also have, if you want to get really in-depth, region, key type, cylinder, system name. Any way you can look up a key, you can do it right away from this main menu. Cylinders is probably what you're going to be looking for if you want the machine to cut residential keys, residential and commercial. The Messenger can do it. However, you need to purchase an M jaw to do those abilities. It comes with a Q and an N jaw. Those are primarily just for automotive. And at the bottom here, you also have some more options from the main menu. You got your home button, and then you also have last. You can see the last keys that you cut on the machine. Bookmarks when you save your favorites. Just like our old software, if you have a vehicle that you do all the time, you want to save it as a favorite, you can access it through this bookmark. Archive, another archive for like last history key if you want to go a little bit further back. And then we also have the main menu, or the setup menu. Setup menu is a little bit more intricate or technical than our last setup menu. You got your search button in case you want to go through it via this way. Detected devices in case you have more than one Keyline machine. You can connect through the KDT app. It'll show that. Your profile. If you select that, it just gives you all the information that you made when you registered the machine. Parameters. You also have utility. Utility is where you do the calibrations. Like let's say you get the M jaw later on. This is where you go to calibrate it. It's very, very easy. All you have to do is take out the cutter and put in the T00 cutter that comes with the Messenger, and it'll just go through the calibration. Tracer tower is what you calibrate for the decoding process. And we also have a wonderful diagnosis, and more importantly, a support function. So let's say that you are out on the road. You have 3 options here to help you out. export log, open new ticket, or telephone support. You can call it right from the app, which is very, very handy in case you run into a troubling situation. You also get notifications, like let's say when new updates come out. All you have to do is either re-download the software, or if it's set up on your phone or tablet, it should update automatically when new updates come available. You also got manual and documents, which is very nice to have on the tablet. Just the manual you can pull up in case you lose it or you left it at home and it's in your vehicle with you when you're out on a job. And then we have Keyline Hub and Keyline Market, which we should be pretty familiar with. So let's go back. Let's go to the home. There we go. So, on this home menu, let's decode a Honda key, shall we? So, a little bit different. You know how on the other machines we have to go to vehicles and then Honda Accord. On this one, we just hit the Honda button right here. Then it pulls up all the models. You just hit Accord. And then you select the year range. Make sure that it is the master key. So I see here the year range I want in the master. And then you have a couple options here. One, you got the decode option, which is highlighted in green. That's if you have an original key. You throw it in there and it decodes the key. We also have codes, where you type in the code directly and it pulls up the key that you can cut by code. And just like all our other ones, we also have direct. Direct is where you want to manually input the cuts. We also have that handy add to bookmarks button right here, so you can access this key from the main menu if you'd like. And we also have key blank if you want to look up the key blank for this vehicle. Let's show you how to do a decode on the messenger. So I'm going to hit decode. The first thing it wants us to do is it wants us to remove the jaw. You just hit OK, because I was using the end jaw before we started the video. And then install the jaw cue. I already have the cue jaw installed, so I'm going to hit OK. Please extract the tracer. You're going to lift the shield and just flip your tracer down. Okay. Now, it wants the jaw on the A side, so A is on the very top, and it does have two tip stops for where you place the key. This one is on the furthest groove, so I'm just going to flip that guy up, and I'm going to put this here. Oop, grab the wrong key. I'm going to flip that tip stop down, close the shield. Please remove the tip stop tool. It's just making sure that you flip the tip stop back out of the way. Then hit OK. So the first thing it does is it gauges to make sure that you have the right jaw installed. And then make sure that you have your tip stops put out of the way. And then it goes and verifies one more time. Now it goes into the process of decoding the key. Since we're using a tip stop, it doesn't gauge where the key is at. It assumes that you're putting it exactly how it shows you on the screen. So that's what it's doing right here. It's going right away into the decode process. All right, and then it says decode complete. You hit OK. And then you get this great screen that comes on up. You can see your cuts, what it read there. It's also zoomed all the way out. You can zoom in if you want. And you also have key code. It found the key code K031, which is what I wanted it to find. It also has the cut measurements here beneath that. And then after that, you have a couple options. You got cut the key. So if I want to go and proceed to cutting the key right away, I just hit that button. We also have fine codes. Let's say that you had a key code of K03, or let's say there was no code listed there, like you're dealing with a worn Honda key. So let's say, for instance, if this cut was a 2 instead of a 1. See, there's no key code there, okay? Because the cuts that it read doesn't match any Honda key that's in the system. So if we're missing if we don't have a key code here and we're dealing with a worn key, I can take out the key and say, hey, this cut looks a little worn. I don't think that should be a 2. I think it should be something else. You can either change it to a 1 and hit find codes and see if a code pops up, or you can hit the question mark button, the check mark, and then hit find codes, and it pulls up the code right here, K031. That's the easiest way to kind of cut worn keys on electrical key cutting machines, is changing what you think the cut is that looks worn to a question mark, or even changing it to what you think the cut should be and hitting find codes. And if a code matches up with the cuts, it'll tell you. If it doesn't, it'll say, hey, code not requested. Okay, so after we do this, let us cut the key. So we're going to hit cut key. Let's do that. Okay, so it starts with please retract the tracer. What it wants you to do is wants you to retract the tracer. So you just let that back where it goes, close the shield, and press OK. And then it's going to tell you to install the key in the A-jaw, which I already did. All you got to make sure is that you use the tip stop again, you slide it in, and then you slide it out. You hit cut. And then please remove the tip stop tool. You just slide it out of the way, and then you hit OK. And once again, it gauges just to make sure you got the right jaw in, and make sure that you got the tip stops out of the way. Now we did have a question while this is cutting a key. I'll wait until the cutter motor stops cutting. Now, someone wrote, what happens if I'm using my phone and then I get a phone call while it's cutting a key? What's going to happen is it's going to pause that procedure. The cutter is going to still spin, but it's going to stop moving while you take the call. And when your call is finished, it's going to move back to the home position. All you have to do is hit cut again, and it'll start over. Once it's done, it'll tell you, please rotate the key by 180 degrees. Make sure you brush any sort of chips that might be out of the way. And then it tells you to remove the tip stop tool again. Okay, and once it's done, it'll say cut complete. Please remove the key. Make sure you just brush any sort of chips that are out of the way. And voila, you have a Honda key code, or Honda key, I should say. Perfect plus sign. That's cut to spec. All right, so now, let's say we want to cut a code, or want to cut a key by code. What's the easiest way to go about it? Well, let's go, hit OK. Go home. Let's say I have a Toyota key. So I'm going to hit Toyota. Then I'm going to go to Camry. I want the 50 to 69,000 master code series, which is right here. I'm going to hit codes. Let's say 67114 is the code I want to cut for this Toyota key. There we go. I select it. All right, and it just takes you right to after that decode screen. Cut the key, find codes, edit, cut, decode, etc. Save and archive, degree of aware, all these fun options. So we just want to cut this key right off the bat with this key code. So I'm going to close the shield, hit cut the key. The first thing it wants us to do is it wants us to remove the jaw. There are no sensors in the carriage. It has to go off the last prompt. So if it ever tells you to do that, all you gotta do is take out the jaw just to be safe. Close the shield, hit OK. Please install the end jaw. Here is the end jaw. It does all automotive edge cut keys for the most part. We're just going to slide it in all the way to the left like we do for the Gymkhana. Then just tighten it down. And we don't need to really tighten down that nut. As long as this guy is tight and secure, you don't have to twist really hard. That's a great way to strip out the bolt. Then hit OK. All right, now, since this is the end jaw, it comes with a tip stop, and you have to insert the key like it shows you on the screen. It's not like the U jaw where it gauges the key before it cuts or decodes it. You have to place the key exactly how it shows you on the screen. So here, end jaw, and then stop N1. So we take our handy tip stop here, and with the lip facing us, we slide it in the N1 spot. And there's no stopper, so as long as it's in the middle, you should be fine. And then you take your blank Toyota key, insert it against the tip stop, and tighten it down in the jaw. Remove your tip stop, and then close the shield. Hit cut. Please remove the tip stop tool. We already did that, but it's always going to ask you just to make sure so you don't bust your cutter. And hit OK. And it's done. Cut complete. Please remove the key. Hit OK. And there you have it. The key's cut and it's good to go. Then we just hit the home button to go back to the main menu. And you're ready to go. Do we have any questions that have been popping up?
We did have one person ask about if the machine requires a Mastiff VSP number. And the answer to that is no, it does not. And we have not heard anything about that coming up in the future. We haven't heard anything yet. But as far as we know, it won't be.
I think I covered all that I wanted to cover. Motorcycle application. Right next to the vehicle, you should see a picture of a motorbike. You just select that, and they'll give you a list of the more popular motorcycle models: Harley Davidson, KTM, Biagio, Suzuki, Yamaha. But you can also hit Show All Brands here, and it'll give you a list for them of all different motorcycles that are out there. And those would be cut, well, depending on the key. If it's high security, it'd be cut on the Q jaw. If it was edge cut, it'd be more than likely cut on the N jaw.
Worn keys.
Worn keys, that's why I showed them with the Honda key. How you change the cut to a question mark to look up the code before you cut it. Administrator functions, there really isn't any, unlike our other software, our other software for our machines, the Liger software. When you first turn on the machine, it'll have you log in as an administrator or a user. This one does not. It just has you open up the app, and then you log in, and then it'll ping the serial number. You just tap it, and you're in. You can have... it will be looking for that email every time that you turn on the app. But if you change, like if this changes hands between people in the company, all you have to do is just new user want to change it, you hit yes, and it'll change to that user. So that's no big deal. Let's see what else is popping up. KDT functions, decoding. Yeah, I think that's about it. Any others popping up or no?
No, I just sent in the chat, so if anyone has any other questions, oh, it looks like we got one from Bob. He asked, would you cut a quickset or a Schlage key, please? We didn't bring those in here to do the demonstration.
Unfortunately, no, but I can show you what you need to do. So, we will hit the cylinder button, which is the third option at the top. And then I'm going to hit Show All Brands. Or you can just hit the search button, which I should have done. There we go. Schlage key. All right, and then you select your card. So we'll just do this one. Then we're just going to directly input it like most of you would. Just do 5, 2, 6, 3, 1. There we go. Question mark. Then we're going to hit cut the key. It wants us to calibrate the M jaw. So let me do, well, unfortunately, I don't think I have a T00 on hand to calibrate it. I can just gladly show you. That's how you do it. To change out the jaw, all you got to do is loosen this guy, slide it out. Then you have your M jaw right here. You slide in your M jaw all the way to the left. Tighten it down. And it will tell you what vise to use, whether it's the A or the B side. You just put in the vise, and then you put in the Schlage key like it shows you on the screen. That's essentially all you need to do to cut residential or commercial keys. Yeah, apparently my messenger wasn't calibrated to the Adam jaw, so I apologize about that. Any other questions?
The only other one was about duplicating truck keys, but they weren't specific about what type.
Like Ford F-150, semi-truck.
They did not say.
Okay. Just like any other key, you could go to the main menu. Oh, home button, there we go. And you can search it by make, model, year, and then hit the decode button to for it to read the cuts on the key. You can also search by key blank, and as you know, if you've talked to me over the phone, I think key blank is a wonderful, great option. The thing is, though, there is just so many of them, it's kind of hard to pinpoint what you're looking for. It's much better to search under vehicle or cylinder, in my opinion. If it works for you, it works for you. That's great. But for me, anyway, not that I avoid key blank because I also use it, but I prefer the other options. But let's say it's a semi-truck key, because I can't think of any manufacturers for semi-truck, and you have the key blank with you. You can search by key blank and then find the code and type in the cuts there. Cool part about this too is you got a picture of all the different manufacturers for what you want to select, so I kind of like that personally. Any other questions?
Not at the moment. Maybe let's give them another 30 seconds or so. See
Sure.
if anything pops up.
Yeah, I actually had a customer who used to put his key machine on one of those carts, like library cart, that you push around with an extension cord for when he did like automotive auctions, and would just push the cart from like attach the extension cord to vehicle. And as he was telling me this, I literally just walked over to the messenger and I just picked it up. And he was like, "Oh my God, that's so much easier."
Yeah, right? Okay, so Bob asked, since the tablet is connected to the internet, is it affected by the number of people online at a given time?
It shouldn't. Just kind of like your cell phone.
That more depends on your internet connection than the machine. If you have a good internet connection or Wi-Fi connection, you should be okay.
Yeah. I haven't really had that problem in my experience with the machine. I'm not saying that it can't, but I don't think so.
Okay. I think that is all we got. Maybe
Solid.
give people a reminder about the demo machine.
Yes. Once again, if you missed it from the beginning, we do have a handful of demo machines. We send out an e-blast, and usually they go right out the door. We still have a couple in case you are interested or you want a backup machine. It's a great way to have a backup machine. We got about 6 Gymkhanas back there, and I think 1 Ninja Laser demo. Gonna have to check the math on that, but we should have that. I think next month we're going to go through, hopefully, the software update procedure for our Liger software, if we can get that all situated, because I want to make that video. Do you think that's going to be possible or no?
I think so.
Okay, cool. All right, so next month, tell your friends, and I know software is a pain.
Wednesday, May 8th.
Wednesday, May 8th, we got a date? Yes. All right, so Wednesday, May 8th, if you want to tune in, I think we're going to start from scratch. The whole update procedure, no subscription, how to do it with a USB drive. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have the ability to share computer screens and share what it looks like on the screen there. So yeah, please tune into that. And if you know some people that have our machines that would like to tune in, let them know. I've been pushing for that video for a while because, as you know, when you try to update it, you probably end up talking to me. So, all right, hope to see everyone soon. Bye.
We did get one more question from Bob. If you want to hand me, I can answer him. just to make sure you can hear me, I stole the mic from Ed here. But Bob also asked about any server issues. Now, we did have server issues one time when there was extreme weather.
The hurricane in Italy.
We had extreme weather that damaged our headquarters in Italy, damaged the building. But that is really the only time we've ever had any server issues. Yes, and it has been rectified and is never expected to happen again, even if there is extreme weather again. So that's something that should not be an issue.